Our relationship expert, Stephen Dromgool, is in the studio with us looking at 12 days of Christmas for lovers this morning, Stephen. Good morning. Now, we should just kick things off by saying that you have this resource up for everyone to enjoy.
So we've got it on the Facebook page, which is Love and Relationship, the Relate Project, and we also have it on our work website, which is relate.kiwi.nz.
And just tell me about the concept behind this 12 days of Christmas.
Okay, so what we're thinking is, if you're in a relationship, one of the best gifts you can give yourself for Christmas is the opportunity to have, a warm, intimate, connected, vibrant, loving time. And I'm aware we may have kids in the car. We'll try and keep it fairly PG.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that that sort of came up for me around this is that I'm really aware that for a lot of couples, it's really easy to get busy with looking after everyone else in the process of managing the in-laws and the kids and doing all of that thing. And at the end of Christmas, feel pretty exhausted, pretty neglected, and want to drink a lot or spend a lot, and also pretty disconnected from their partner.
Right.
And Christmas is really a window opportunity. And so because it's really significant, we're on kind of high alert. And so we have a part of our brain that we call the child brain, which is really, remembers all our great times at Christmas and is sort of sitting there waiting like, it's Christmas, what's going to happen for me? Yeah. And so we want to create a space to kind of help people capture that and support each other to connect better through that.
Okay, that's a good idea. That's interesting that we go back to the baby brain, because you talk a lot about with us about the baby brain thing, but we kind of just slip back into it for that Christmassy, for that period itself.
Yeah, because what happens is in the child brain, because children developmentally are moving from being connected to to mum and dad to suddenly experiencing this whole world out there. There's plugs I want to stick my fingers into, there's rubbish bins, there's chocolate, there's all this stuff that we want to get into. And so their brain is wired in the continuous present. So they're not thinking about the past and not thinking about the future. If you think about a 4-year-old, that'll give you a pretty good picture. And so it gives us this opportunity to experience very vividly and intensely this thing that's happening in front of us right now. Yeah. And so if we want to have a really fantastic love life and to really experience joy, this part of the brain's really responsible for our happiness. Then it requires us to come back into this present awareness and really to kind of create space for play, to create space for joy.
And this is where your 12 days for Christmas comes in. So basically you've got 12 different days, 12 little bits of advice for things that you can do for your partner over the Christmas period. Let's, what we might do is just pick out a couple. If that works for you.
So one thing I just want to say, so the issue is, as adults, we when you're a 4-year-old, you don't have the option of thinking like an adult. But as adults, we have the ability to think about the past and the present, to be responsible and to, be trying to manage stuff and be strategic and do all of that. And what that can do is pull us out of that ability to experience joy in the way that your 5 or 6-year-old who knows about Christmas and is like super excited about the whole day. And so, so sometimes we need a little bit of help. Christmas can be super busy, there's lots of stresses, work may be really hard, and so it can be easy for us to be so caught up in the past or the future that we lose this opportunity. So this is really designed to give us some prompts to come back into it.
Okay, let's look at number 1, day 1. It's a simple one. Give your partner an extra long hug, at least 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And how does that work?
So the whole idea behind this is our brain is a routine-making machine. We want to learn how to do stuff. We want to do it more efficiently, so we don't have to spend so much energy. So stuff that we do a lot, our brain tends to do on autopilot. So you'll often see couples, they'll come home, they give each other, quick hug.
Hey, have a day, you're good.
Yeah. And so what this is about is, you come home and you do a hug and you hold it for longer. And your partner will be like, oh, what are you doing? And just breathe. And so basically, hugs that last for about 20 seconds basically give our brain an opportunity to come back into the experience of being with our partner, of feeling their body, of breathing, and it gives us a big boost of oxytocin. Now, oxytocin is a big hormone that we, experience, an afterglow thing. It makes us feel close, it makes us feel cuddly, it makes us feel secure. And what it does is it helps the baby brain feel safer, feel connected. Now that's actually a precondition for us to play. If we don't feel safe, we can't play nicely.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is one of the first warm-ups, just to come in.
It sounds so simple, but actually I can see how that would be significant. If you just went up to your partner, you give them a big hug for longer than they would, so that they kind of realise that it's not part of the routine, and you say in your advice, throw in a extra credit.
Yeah, so what happens is when we do that sound, we naturally do it for babies when, we want to connect them and we're just enjoying holding them close. And what it does is it sends a harmonic through the whole body that helps regulate our nervous system.
Right.
And so, these hugs are really powerful. I actually encourage my couples to do this as a pretty regular thing, particularly when you come home from work, which is often a high stress time. It's at the short little window that says, hey, really happy to see you. Glad that you're here, and oh God, you feel really great. And what you'll find is if you have young children, they're going to actually try and get in the middle of that. And if you have teenagers, they're going to go, get a room. Yeah.
I think I don't know if they can what this is. I think I can remember maybe my mum and dad doing that and us being like, there!
And so what they're doing is really good modeling for this idea that, you can be in a relationship, you can be connected, do all of that stuff. And actually one of the things is this idea was partly prompted by you talking about your mum and how she gets really busy at Christmas. So this is the thing that you can do for people who are not your lover. Just create those opportunities while you're staying there in the days before, just to give her a big hug.
I'll go and give my mum a big hug. Okay, that's good. Day 4, I'm just picking another random one. Flirt with your partner in public.
Yeah. So flirting is amazing. Like, it's one of the coolest things about going out and you're like checking each other out and sort of looking at them and saying, oh God, you're so hot, and doing all of those things. And but often when we're doing it, we often have quite a lot of nervousness and anxiety because sometimes we're not sure if they're gonna
respond.
They're gonna do it.
Flirt back.
And so really the one of the cool things about being with your partner and having that security is that the odds are pretty high that they're going to respond. So one of the things I quite like doing is doing like really like super cheesy pickup lines and stuff. So it's sort of like, did it hurt? And like, what? When you fell out of heaven.
Oh my God.
Kind of thing. Kind of like, oh God. But it gets people laughing and it gives them that feeling that you're connected to them. And again, if it's unusual, now you're prepping your brain for a surprise, and the child brain loves surprises.
Right.
And so creating that sense of a little bit of novelty, a little bit of excitement, and signaling to your partner that that's okay. This is a fairly low risk kind of safe thing to try.
Speaking of surprises, that's another suggestion. Get your partner a surprise, like $5, small but thoughtful little something.
Yeah. So in particular, this is a really good one to find out if your partner, if gifts is a important love language for your partner. So it hits a surprise thing, but if you, there are some people for whom gifts are really great, and Christmas is quite oriented around gifts.
Yeah, it is.
So this can be a kind of a warm-up about just finding something little, and it might be that you go and pick them some flowers from the garden, or you choose like one nice chocolate bit. And if you know already that they're a gifts person, make sure you wrap it nicely, get it in a little box, make sure there's a bow, put a little, little card with it, and maybe leave it there, or send them a flower to work or whatever, just something pretty cool like that.
Yeah, okay, I like that suggestion. I'm going to pick another one. Find a song or poem that reminds you of your lover and send it to them.
Yeah, so this one, one's a little bit later because it's going to require a little bit of work, and hopefully by this stage you've started to warm up a little bit of the excitement here. And Kiwis in general often aren't a particularly expressive culture. The British thing, the strong but silent. But this can be, lots of people have a particular song that's our song. And so that can be a really neat opportunity. And if you don't have your song, create our song. Like, oh, I heard this song, and it reminds me of you, or that this feeling I kind of have. Now, if you are someone who's a words person and you can write your own poems, that's fantastic. But on the other hand, you don't have to do it, because there's a lot of people who are really talented with words. And so E. Cummings is one of my favourite. I was
Stephen, you're giving us
all
your secrets.
non-PG version. But he sort of said, they lips are scarlet satraps, clothed in red, and then he had some, other ones about her legs, which are pretty fantastic too, but we're not going to share on the radio. So go and have an explore, and Google, can be your friend.
Okay, so you have 12 days, 12 different suggestions. These are great, and most of these, or many of these, don't cost any money either. So it's basically just different ways of being deliberately thoughtful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what we can do is you can build that sense of excitement. So by the time you hit Christmas, and Christmas Day, might be a little bit of a write-off in terms of being a little bit exhausted and you kind of fall into bed and like, hey, we got through it. But at least it sets you up for Boxing Day and, and some days after that we can be like, I really appreciate, all the things that you do for me and, and setting yourself up, because really, there's big groups of people who tend to go in two directions, and so as people get older, they often tend to get more close and more connected and have more of an intimate relationship, or there's often this slow drift apart.
Right.
And so, a lot of the more significant issues that we're dealing with in therapy are a result of failing to attend to our need to play, to be, to have that, and we need
all of
that.
those things. Okay. Hey, where can people see this again? Just give us those two websites. You've got the Facebook page.
Facebook page, which is the Relate Project, Love and Relationships, the Relate Project, and the our website is relate.kiwi.nz.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Stephen. And thanks for the Christmas card.
Yeah.
Oh, I really appreciate that. It is 18 minutes past 11. You were Jack Tame.